Sparta. The name alone evokes images of unyielding warriors, relentless discipline, and a society shaped entirely for war. Even today, calling someone Spartan suggests toughness, resilience, and an ability to endure hardship without complaint. But Sparta was much more than a warrior culture. Its rise and fall reveal the complex story of a society built on control, fear, and the relentless pursuit of power, and ultimately, how even the mightiest city-state could crumble. Long before Sparta became a symbol of martial excellence, the region of Laconia in the southeastern Peloponnese was already settled. Fertile plains, sufficient rainfall, and strategic positioning between mountains made it an attractive place for early Greek settlers. By roughly 950 BCE, several Dorian Greek communities had merged to form the foundations of Sparta. These early settlements were modest, consisting primarily of wooden homes and small villages. Unlike Athens or Corinth, Sparta would never prioritize grandiose architecture or wealth. Its strength was to lie elsewhere. Sparta's political system was unlike that of any other Greek city-state. Instead of a single king, Sparta was ruled by two, one from the Agiad family and the other from the Eurypontid line. This dual monarchy created a balance of power and, in theory, prevented any single ruler from dominating Spartan society. Yet the kings were not absolute. Their authority was checked by other political institutions, including a council of elders, known as the Gerousia, and a group of magistrates called the Ephors. Together, these bodies ensured that Sparta functioned as both a monarchy and an oligarchy, a unique system that would endure for centuries. But political innovation alone did not make Sparta great. Its true power stemmed from its citizens, the Spartiates, professional warriors who devoted their entire lives to military service. From an early age, boys were enrolled in the agoge, a brutal training program designed to forge disciplined soldiers. At 7, they were removed from their families and placed in communal barracks, where survival meant enduring harsh physical challenges, sleeping on rough bedding, and learning to obey without question. Their food was simple, and often they were required to steal to supplement it. But any failure or display of weakness was punished harshly, even with death. The agoge produced men capable of incredible endurance and loyalty. Only those who completed the program became full citizens of Sparta, with the rights and responsibilities that entailed. For them, life was not about luxury, art, or intellectual pursuits. It was about service to the state, obedience to its laws, and mastery of the battlefield. Beneath the Spartiates were the perioikoi, free inhabitants of surrounding towns. They were allowed to own property and serve in the army, but they could not participate in politics. At the bottom of the social hierarchy were the helots, essentially enslaved people who farmed the land and provided the food that sustained the Spartan system. Over time, the helot population outnumbered the Spartiates, creating a constant fear of rebellion. The Spartans' solution was control through terror, periodic killings sanctioned by the state, as well as the secretive crypteia, in which young men were trained to spy on and suppress the helots. In the mid-7th century BCE, Sparta underwent profound reforms attributed to the legendary lawgiver Lycurgus. While scholars debate whether Lycurgus was a historical figure, the reforms associated with his name transformed Sparta into a military society. Land was redistributed, political power was extended beyond the aristocracy, and the lives of citizens were regimented to serve the state. Sparta became a model of discipline and military organization, and its social system, called the eunomia, or good order, became the backbone of Spartan life. Sparta's military prowess allowed it to expand rapidly. By the 7th century BCE, Sparta had conquered the region of Messenia, acquiring fertile lands and additional Helot populations. This conquest made Sparta wealthier and stronger, but also more vulnerable to internal revolt. The constant threat of Helot uprisings shaped Spartan society into one of constant vigilance and fear, further reinforcing its militarized culture. By the 5th century BCE, Sparta had become the preeminent military power in Greece. It played a crucial role in the Persian Wars, most famously at the Battle of Thermopylae, where King Leonidas and 300 Spartan warriors held the pass against a vastly superior Persian army. This heroic stand cemented Sparta's reputation as the ultimate warrior society. Yet for all its military success, Sparta neglected cultural and intellectual life. Poets, artists, and philosophers thrived in Athens and Corinth. But in Sparta, the focus remained squarely on the battlefield. Sparta's dominance inevitably brought it into conflict with Athens. Initially, allies against the Persian threat, the two city-states soon found themselves at odds. Athens, with its powerful navy and burgeoning democracy, challenged Sparta's influence. The resulting Peloponnesian War, which lasted nearly 3 decades, was a test of endurance, strategy, and alliances. Despite its rigid society and declining citizen numbers, Sparta eventually emerged victorious, aided by a strong navy and support from Persia. But victory came at a cost. Sparta's harsh treatment of allies and subjects, combined with its rigid social system, fostered resentment. Former allies, including Corinth and Athens, turned against it. The Corinthian War in the late 4th century BCE saw Sparta struggling against a coalition of its former partners, revealing that even the strongest military power could be vulnerable to diplomacy, alliances, and internal weaknesses. In 371 BCE, Sparta suffered a devastating blow at the Battle of Leuctra, where the Theban general Epaminondas decisively defeated the Spartan army. Messenia was liberated, Helot control was broken, and Sparta's dominance in the Peloponnese was shattered. From this point onward, Sparta would never regain its former glory. Attempts to revive Spartan power in the centuries that followed, including reforms by kings like Cleomenes III, were largely unsuccessful. Macedonian and Roman interventions further eroded Spartan independence. By the 2nd century BCE, Sparta had become a small, relatively poor city, overshadowed by greater powers. Its legendary warriors now a memory preserved in history. Yet the legacy of Sparta endures. Its discipline, martial culture, and unwavering commitment to the state have fascinated historians and storytellers for millennia. From the Battle of Thermopylae to its unique social system, Sparta remains a symbol of strength and resilience, a reminder that even the mightiest societies are not immune to change and decline. Sparta's story teaches us that power is not only about conquest or military might, it is also about balance, adaptability, and the ability to sustain a society in the face of internal and external pressures. The rise and fall of Sparta is not just the story of a city, but a cautionary tale about ambition, structure, and the fragility of human institutions.